Hello there, my name is Wyn Richards and I'm a drama and acting lecturer at Gower College in Swansea. And I'm honoured and delighted today to be part of this event where I'm going to talk to you about the importance of setting out really strong rules and expectations at the beginning of your time with any new class. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk to you about what I used to do over my 20 years experience to date. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is a visual aid, a prop for you drama lot. So I'd like you to imagine that this book is the foundation of a learner's time in secondary school, and then the pyramid here is their time in that school. So if you regard maybe the first row, the bottom row, as year 7, the basis, the foundation years, moving all the way up to year 11 or year 13, depending on the school. Now, going back to this idea of the book being the foundation, if this foundation is strong in year 7 and rigid and stable, then that pupil's time in the school will be strong and secure and successful. However, if this foundation is not strong and is unstable, then as you can see, the learner's time topples, and I like to regard that as maybe being the student's time at secondary school not being successful. So it's really, really important when you start off your teaching career with any new class from year 7 all the way up to year 13 that you start off with a firm set of rules and expectations. So what I used to do as a teacher in the secondary sector was that in the first lesson I would talk through my rules and expectations with the students, and I would make that about 5 or 6 rules which would be displayed on the whiteboard. I didn't make them too many. I didn't make loads of rules because of course in their first lesson with all their teachers, the learners are getting other teachers' rules and expectations. So keep it to a minimum, but make sure that those rules are really productive and really important in your lesson. For example, one of my rules was to respect everybody's opinions in the drama classroom. So I'd go through that with the students and we'd talk about it, and we'd analyse why they were important. And at the same time, the students had all these rules on a little sheet of paper, an A5 piece of paper, which was pre-printed prior to the class coming in. And once all the rules we'd gone over them, the students would sign them, and that formed a bit of a binding contract between themselves, the learner, and myself as the drama teacher. These contracts were taken away and filed, put in their student files, and then they proved really useful if ever we needed to get a student back on detention, for example. So what I would do is I'd get these rules back out, the contract that was established between the learner and myself at the beginning of the year, and I'd talk through why one of these rules, or maybe several of the rules, or all of them, might have been breached. So that contract was a really important document between me and the pupil, and it made their time, their detention, really quite formal, but also it made a really productive detention because I was able to talk through the pupil, talk through what they'd done wrong. Obviously, these documents became really useful at parents' evening when I was able to take them out and talk to parents about it. So it's really important that you establish really strong ground rules and expectations at the start of your lessons, and that you're firm, that you're fair and consistent all the way through, because believe it or not, learners like teachers that are firm, fair and consistent. Year 7 is always regarded as the easy year, but I would beg to differ. Year 7 is the hardest year to teach and to establish good working practices with, because if you don't get that established foundation and those rules stuck and embedded in their students' learning in year 7, then everything's going to just fall apart. Their time in secondary school is just going to topple. So be firm, be fair and consistent, and make sure at the beginning of your lessons with all of your learners in their very first lesson, you establish these rules and talk through why they're important. Once those rules are embedded and the pupils understand where you're coming from and they can see that you're being firm and fair and consistent, that's when relationships will start to flourish between you and the pupils, between the pupils and each other, and that's when learning will become really, really productive. Good luck with your time in your secondary school drama teaching career, and enjoy. Thank you very much.